Hello game makers, this is GameMaker Rob, and in this video we'll be coding the basics of a battle system. The player will command their heroes in turn, and then monsters will automatically attack the heroes, with the process just repeating itself ad infinitum. So let's get started. Okay, so you may have noticed at the end of the last video, what we end up with isn't exactly what it looks like on the intro. The only reason that is because I have enlarged the sprites. I doubled the size of the monster sprites, and I increased the size of the hero sprites by 1.5, and they look a lot more in proportion now. So another thing was they weren't aligned centrally properly. So inside Battle Spawner, just make sure you've got the same coordinates for the monsters, like this, and then for the hero coordinates, Hero X is room width minus 120. Hero Y is room height divided by 2. And then minus 2 times the height of the hero sprite plus 20. And when we're creating the heroes, we've got this code here. I don't think I changed this, but just double check to be sure. Let me just increase this. And that's all I really changed after I finished recording to get the intro. And I'm talking about the intro for the previous tutorial, by the way, if I wasn't clear. Okay, so one thing I also noticed that I want to change straight away would be the fact that for one step, the monster groups and the heroes display the standard sprite. If I just run the game, I'll show you what I mean. The standard sprite for the hero would be this one, and for the monsters it's the troll. And you can only see it for an instant, but it is still noticeable. And there's a pretty easy way to get around it. So you can see with the heroes, for that first step, they'll all look like this guy. And all we need to do is have a draw event. And inside the draw event, we're going to say if state is equal to ready, draw self. And the way this is going to work is, in the step event, it's going to be init. We set the image to the right index, and then we set the state to ready, and it's only going to draw itself when it's ready. And the same for monster group. In here, at the top, if state is equal to ready, wow. There we go. Let's test this now. So now we don't get that first step. They just don't draw themselves until the state's ready. Cool. Okay, now that that's done, let's start on the battle system itself. So we're not going to need this anymore. This was just for testing. And we want to say if player turn and if action state equals init, and the first thing we want to do is check to see if DS Heroes exists. If DS exists, DS Heroes, and it's DS type list. If it exists, then delete it. DS list, delete or destroy, sorry, DS Heroes, and DS Heroes equals -1. We're going to have a DS list that's going to contain any of the hero objects that are still able to fight, and then we're going to cycle through them to make actions with. We want to destroy the list at the start of every hero turn, just so we make sure we have the right heroes in there. And whenever you destroy a list or any data structure, you need to reset it to -1. Otherwise you're going to cause yourself problems. That's why we're doing this. We've got 3 new variables: player turn, action state, DS Heroes. Let's just initialize them as well. Battle spawn. Actually, let's do that in the step event, in the init. So we'll say player turn equals true, action state equals init, and DS Heroes equals -1. And inside we need to make a new event as well. We're going to call it cleanup, and we're going to say if DS exists, DS Heroes, and it's a list type, then DS list destroy DS Heroes, and then DS Heroes equals -1. And whenever the battle spawn object is destroyed, whether it's closing the game or some kind of crash or something, it will always get rid of this list, and it will save you from getting memory leaks. Okay, so we've got this now. So destroy old hero list, add valid heroes to list. So we need to recreate the list first. DS Heroes equals DS list create with obj hero. If GA Heroes index 2, which is the current hit points, is greater than 0, then DS list add, and then we want other.ds heroes, and then ID. So all we're doing is we're cycling through each object hero, checking the global array to see if that hero has any hit points left, and if they do, we're adding this hero's ID to the list, the DS hero list. And once we have created the list, we just need to say action state equals ready, and then if action state equals ready, we want to basically grab the ID of the first object in the DS list. So we'll say hero to command equals DS list find value DS heroes and 0, and then we want to delete that first entry, DS list delete DS heroes 0. So we're grabbing the first ID of the list and deleting it, so the next one will be available. Once we've grabbed it, we want to say hero to command dot attack equals true. And we don't want this to run all the time, because then there's no player input. We want to say if keyboard check pressed VK space, then do this. And we also want to say if DS list size DS heroes is less than or equal to 0, action state equals init, and it's just going to cycle back because we're just going to make sure the hero turns work for now. So what we need to do now is go into obj hero and say attack equals false. We also need to say attack animation timer equals 0, time till attack animation ends equals 30, and start x equals x. So this variable is whether we're attacking or not. This is a timer to show the attack animation. This is how long the attack animation lasts for, and the starting point of the sprite to return to. Because all we're going to do is we're going to make the hero sprite move to the left, as in Final Fantasy, and then move back again. So once we've got these variables, go into the step event, and we want to say if state is equal to ready, if attack we want to say if x is equal to start x, then x minus equal, and we'll say sprite width times 3 should be far enough. So all we're saying is if the hero sprite, if this object, sorry, is at the original position it was, then we want it to move to the attack position. And we want to say attack animation timer plus plus. If attack animation timer is greater than or equal to time till attack animation ends, then x equals start x, attack animation timer equals 0, and then attack equals false. What have I missed? Oh, semicolon. So if we're attacking, move to the attack position, start the timer. If the timer reaches a certain point, return to the original position, reset the timer, and end the attack. I think we should be good to go for a test. Let me just add some comments in here into the step event of obj battle spawner. Make hero attack when space is pressed. If all heroes have attacked, reset them all attack again. So let's test it now. So there we go. Press space as much as you want and they'll attack in turn. The only thing that's weird is they attack from the bottom up, and this is because of the way that we're adding the heroes to the list. We're adding the IDs to the list, and the first ID is going to be the last entry. So all we need to do to change this is inside the if statement where we're saying if action state is equal to init, after we've added all the heroes to the array, not the array, to the list, sorry, all we need to do is say ds list, and then we want sort ds heroes, and we want it to be in ascending order, and that's it. All these functions you can use, like ds list sort, ds list shuffle, they're so useful. Like I never used data structures for a long time. I just stuck to arrays, and trying to do certain functions on my own became very complicated, and data structures have a lot of these functions built in already. It'll save you a lot of time. Okay, so let's test this now. Make sure that we're attacking in the correct order. So there we go. We're now attacking from the top to the bottom. Cool. Alright, so we're going to do the same thing for the monsters now, except rather than have player input, they're just going to attack manually themselves, automatically, sorry. So inside this if statement where we're saying if player turn, then where it says action state equals init, we want to say player turn equals false, and that will stop all of this repeating. So now that we've set player turn to false, we could say if not player turn, and we can copy and paste pretty much the whole of the first if statement. If action state equals init, we're going to destroy the old monster list, change this to ds monsters here and here as well, and we want to delete this and keep this, and we want to say with obj monster group, if number is greater than 0, then ds list add other.ds monsters id. So if there's still a monster in the group alive, add them to the list, and then we're going to sort it so the first monster group goes first, and then set the states ready. We're going to need to initialize monsters as well. One thing I didn't account for is checking to see if the lists already exist. So let's just go into the cleanup event for battle spawner, sorry. Copy this, delete, paste it, change this to monsters, DS monsters, and then copy the whole of this, go into the step event, and inside the init stage, before we initialize them, sorry, yeah, just copy and paste over here. And what we need to do, is have inside the create event just to create the variables at the start. So ds heroes equals -1, ds monsters equals -1. That should prevent any memory leak issues from that, because inside the initialization stage, then we can check if the list exists, and if so, just destroy them. Okay, so now that we've done this, we want to go, just put a comment here, monster's turn. If action state equals ready, this is going to be a bit different. We're going to say attack timer ++. If attack timer is greater than or equal to time till monsters attack, I don't want a capital K, then active monster equals ds list find value ds monsters 0, and then ds list delete ds monsters 0. So we're grabbing the ID of the first group that has monsters in it and deleting that from the list. And then we want to say active monster dot attack equals true, attack timer equals 0. And after all this, if ds list size ds monsters is less than or equal to 0, then player, actually copy this, paste it here. So we're running a timer. Once the timer reaches a certain stage, grab a monster, make it attack, reset the timer. Once all monsters have had their turn, we're going to reset the action state and let the player's turns have their go. So it should be player turn equals true. I knew there'd be something. Okay, so we need to initialize these two variables. Attack timer, put it here. Attack timer equals 0, and time till monster attack, we'll make it 60. Anything else? I don't think so. And now inside, actually first of all, go into obj hero, copy the variables that we made for the attack, and then just paste them into the monster group object. And again in the step event of the hero, copy the ready state stuff and put it into the monster group. Only this time we want x plus equal to sprite width times 3. Okay. At some stage we might just make a script for everything that's the same inside both objects, and maybe even inside the step event of the spawner as well, just in case we need to keep changing the code. But while it's still small, we'll leave it as it is for now. So let's just test the game, see if it's working as it should be. So attack, 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 and now the monsters should attack. There's 1, 2, 3. Cool. Heroes go. I can't use them anymore. Pressing space doesn't work. And now it's heroes go, so now they can attack. Cool. And it's just an endless cycle, as it should be. So I think I will cut it short for today, because the next thing we're going to get into is having some kind of menu system for the heroes. That's going to take a while, so rather than make this like an hour and a half episode, I'm going to start from scratch for the menu tomorrow. So I will catch you then. Bye for now.